Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? Good? Great. Welcome tonight to Whittier Street Health Center's toast of Dr. Jeffrey Leiden. I'm Brittany Johnson, investigative reporter for WCVB Channel 5, and I may be new to some of you all in this room. That's because I am newer to Boston. I transferred here from our sister station in California, but none of you in this room told me to bring the California sunshine with me. But it's all right. Boston is beautiful, and I'm happy to be here and happy to be here tonight. Now let's get back to the real reason that we are here. It is our great privilege to be here tonight to honor the work of Dr. Leiden, Executive Chairman of the Board at Vertex Pharmaceuticals, and to recognize the outstanding achievements made by Whittier Street Health Center. Now, we have a very exciting evening planned for everyone tonight. We have a night of uplifting music throughout from Anima Collective, the premiere of Whittier's latest annual report video featuring some of their wonderful patients, and of course, the toast to Dr. Jeffrey Leiden. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce all of you tonight to our presenters for this evening's event. Let's extend a warm welcome to the one and only Frederica Williams. Frederica Williams has served as president and CEO of Whittier Street Health Center since 2002. Over the past 2 decades, alongside her committed team, she has spearheaded the implementation of groundbreaking, culturally attuned healthcare and social services tailored to marginalized and underserved populations. Now, through her visionary leadership, Whittier has evolved to a cornerstone of our city and a beacon of inspiration nationwide. Frederica's unwavering dedication, advocacy, and astute vision have firmly established Whittier as a trailblazer in urban healthcare, emphasizing of her health equity, social justice, and economic parity. Now, our video presenter for the evening is Joe Nolan. Joe was Whittier's 2022 honoree and long-term friend and supporter of Whittier. He is the chairman, president, and CEO of Eversource Energy. And he is right here, so he also said that he's gonna give everyone 50% off their bills next month. So give it up for him. Just kidding, just kidding. So Eversource Energy is a Fortune 500 and Standard & Poor's 500 energy company based in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. It operates New England's largest energy delivery system. Now, under Joe's leadership, Eversource is committed to safety, reliability, and environmental leadership and stewardship, and also expanding energy options for its 3.7 million electric and natural gas customers. Next, our toasters for this evening's event, Dr. Reshma Kewalramani, President and CEO of Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Kewalramani joined Vertex in 2017 and served as Chief Medical Officer and Executive Vice President of Global Medicines Development and Medical Affairs and became CEO in 2020. She has been named one of the Fortune's most powerful women, one of Boston's Business Journal's Power 50, and one of Boston Magazine's most influential Bostonians. The next virtual toasters are Dr. Gary Nabel and Dr. Elizabeth Nabel of ModeX Therapeutics. Dr. Gary Nabel serves as a founder, president, and CEO of ModeX Therapeutics, a biotech startup company focused on novel technologies to treat cancer and viral diseases, and Chief Innovation Officer of OPKO Health, its parent company. Dr. Betsy Nabel serves as chair of the advisory board for OPKO Health, the parent company of ModeX Therapeutics, as well as on several public and private boards. Our third toaster is Dr. Joan Reed, Dean for Diversity and Community Partnership, Professor of Medicine, Harvard Medical School, Professor of Society, Human Development and Health, Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Dr. Reed has created more than 20 diversity and leadership-focused programs, including founding the HMS Minority Faculty Development Program and the Biomedical Science Careers Program. The fourth toaster of the night is former Congressman Joe Kennedy. He currently serves as president of Citizens Energy, as well as in the Biden administration as special envoy to Northern Ireland for Economic Affairs. The fifth toaster of the night is Dr. Sangeeta Bhatia, John J. and Dorothy Wilson Professor of Engineering, Director of the Marble Center for Cancer Nanomedicine at the Koch Institute for Integrative Cancer Research. Dr. Bhatia was the 25th person in history to be an elected member of all 3 U.S. National Academies, NAS, NAM, and NAE. The sixth and final toaster of the night is Paul Burton, journalist, WBZ TV, CBS News, Executive Vice President of the Ron Burton Training Village, and prior to becoming a journalist, Burton led a successful career as an athlete, including a 3-year career as an all-Big Ten punter at Northwestern, as well as a short stint in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks. Now I will ask all of you to please stand, as it is my pleasure to introduce you to this evening's honoree. All right, he is a high school dropout physician, scientist, innovator, and tonight's honoree is Dr. Jeffrey Leiden, Executive Chairman of the board, Vertex Pharmaceuticals. And our next speaker requires no formal introduction. She is Ms. Frederica Williams.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Whittier Street Health Center, I am delighted to welcome you to our annual Toast event. Tonight's event is a celebration of the long and impactful legacy of Dr. Jeff Leiden, a high school dropout, physician, scientist, and innovator. Dr. Leiden, as you've already heard, is the executive chairman of the board and past CEO and president of Vertex Pharmaceuticals, an innovative company with a deep commitment to investing in science, transforming lives, and prioritizing corporate social responsibility. Throughout his long career, yes, you can clap for Vertex. Throughout his long career, Jeff has been hailed for his brilliance in medicine and science and his amazing mix of genius, leadership, and compassion. He has consistently demonstrated an impressive ability to execute his vision of developing drugs to address the underlying causes of diseases, not just treatments. Patients around the world and in the city of Boston are living healthier lives due to the medical breakthroughs led by Jeff and Vertex. As a compassionate scientist, physician, and corporate leader, Dr. Leiden has been a champion of health equity, diversity, education, and innovation, and we are thrilled to honor him tonight. There's another reason we're here this evening. Tonight is an important night for Whittier. It's our largest annual fundraiser. It comes at a time when many in our communities are overwhelmed and living in despair. So to everyone here, thank you so much for your generosity in supporting our efforts to serve as a beacon of hope in our underserved communities. We are grateful, and I can assure you, as always, your investments in our vision and mission will yield significant returns as we help to improve, transform, and enrich the lives of the more than 30,000 people we serve. Now, before we get to Jeff, let me tell you a bit about Whittier. Our mission is to serve as a center of excellence in pursuit of health equity, social justice, and the economic well-being of our diverse patients. Our patients represent some of Boston's most vulnerable individuals and families grappling with a myriad of social determinants of health. These barriers, economic, social, and environmental, cast long shadows over their health and life expectancy, rendering simple tasks like attending a doctor's appointment a monumental challenge. Our approach is comprehensive and holistic, extending beyond traditional healthcare to encompass a wide array of social services tailored to individual needs. We recognize that true healing requires addressing the entirety of a person's circumstances, not just their symptoms. In partnership with many of you, with our donors, patients, and community, we have witnessed the tangible impact of our collective efforts in advancing health equity and addressing the unique needs of the underserved communities in Boston. Approximately 10 years ago, a study was released by the Boston Public Health Commission that reported that the average life expectancy of a person living in Roxbury, Whittier's primary service area, was 59.5 years, a 33-year gap in life expectancy when compared to those living in the Back Bay, a short distance from Whittier. To help to address the reported gap in life expectancy, we launched an innovative population health management system, Whittier's Boston Health Equity Program, in partnership with patients, community leaders, and cross-sector partners. Whittier's Boston Health Equity Program is a system of care for people with or at risk for chronic illnesses that fully integrates innovative community outreach, wellness support, and care coordination. It explicitly seeks to eliminate health disparities and their associated costs. This innovative healthcare model stratifies patients according to the severity of their risk factors and social determinants of health, and services are provided accordingly. Last year, in June 2023, an updated life expectancy report was released by the Boston Public Health Commission, which showed that the average life expectancy in Roxbury had improved by 10 years to 69 years. But this is still a 23-year gap in life expectancy for our Roxbury residents when compared to the residents in the Back Bay. But these small improvements over a decade gives our community hope and demonstrates the power of culturally sensitive innovation, cross-sector partnerships, and philanthropic support to educate, engage, and empower our community to be activated in holistic wellness and disease prevention. There's still so much more work to do. Last year, with the support of the Massachusetts Attorney General's office, we expanded programs to help to address the high mortality rates facing Black mothers and infants. Maternal death rates remain the highest among Black women, and we're working with our patients to reduce this public health crisis. 2 years ago, we launched a day engagement program for the unhoused to provide a comfortable, safe space for unhoused adults, many of whom struggle with substance use disorders and mental illnesses and felt abandoned by society. Our diverse team works with the vulnerable population to link them to free healthcare and social services. In 2023, we served 500 unhoused clients, 80% are actively engaged in care and are on the path to stability and wellness. In addition to the wide range of healthcare and social services provided at our main clinic site and satellite clinic, we bring healthcare to patients where they are to eliminate barriers such as transportation, work schedules, or lack of insurance. Whittier provides services at schools for low-income and racial and ethnic minority populations through 8 school-based health centers. These children commonly experience worse health and are less likely to have a consistent place of health care and miss more days of school because of illnesses. In partnership with the school community and families, we work to improve the students' health and well-being so they can reach their full potential. Our mobile health vans, which we expanded during the pandemic, now manages 4 mobile health clinics, canvassing the city and bringing care directly to patients at multiple locations, removing barriers to care and improving overall health. In collaboration with the Department of Public Health, Whittier has been providing services to the migrants at the state's temporary shelter at the Millionaire Cass Recreational Center in Roxbury. Many migrants have presented with untreated chronic health conditions, lack of prenatal care, mental illnesses, and more. With your support, we're tackling these issues of health equity boldly, ensuring that our community has access to the highest quality of care, regardless of their ability to pay for services, while being treated with dignity and respect. You'll hear more about Whittier in a video tonight. And now, let's turn our eyes to the guest of honor, our exemplary leader and health equity champion, Jeff Leiden. Dr. Leiden is no ordinary corporate leader. He's a visionary whose impact extends far beyond the boardroom. As the executive chairman of Vertex Pharmaceuticals, Jeff has been at the helm of transformative innovation and groundbreaking research that has revolutionized the field of medicine. Some of you may be curious about this event's tagline, a high school dropout, physician, scientist, and innovator. Well, let me tell you about our high school dropout. From a very young age, Dr. Leiden loved figuring out how things work. His mother, an educator, and his father, a clinical psychologist, encouraged his curiosity and built a lab in their home for him. With his quick mind, he outpaced high school and left at age 15 to attend the University of Chicago, where he became fascinated with molecular biology. By age 25, he had completed his BA, MD, and his Ph.D. Yes. At Vertex, Dr. Leiden built a robust pipeline of drug candidates in specialty markets, including pain, sickle cell disease, and type 1 diabetes, with a particular focus on therapies that cure or modify the cause of disease. Many in our community struggle with sickle cell, and we know firsthand the devastating impact of the disease. For the very first time, sickle cell patients and their families have hope because of the groundbreaking treatments that Jeff and Vertex have discovered with their partners. Jeff spearheaded the development and launch of transformative drugs to treat the underlying cause of cystic fibrosis. Thanks to Jeff and Vertex, patients with cystic fibrosis are now celebrating major milestones that seemed impossible to them just a few short years ago. He sees making quality education widely available as the path to create the next generation of leaders. He's a huge believer that education is the only long-term solution to our big problems. medicine, and climate change. In 2017, Vertex announced a sustained corporate giving commitment of $500 million over the next 10 years, of which $50 million is focused on STEAM education. Dr. Leiden's impact reverberates throughout the community as he has dedicated himself to philanthropy, mentorship, and advocacy for causes close to his heart. He cares deeply about patients, his employees, and students. He's committed to diversity, and Vertex has become a tremendous symbol for diversity in the workplace. Dr. Leiden, you have embodied the very essence of leadership, leading with compassion, vision, and an unwavering dedication to making the world a better place. So here's to Dr. Leiden, a true visionary and a beacon of hope for generations to come. Please join me in a round of applause for Dr. Leiden. Many people have worked hard to make this evening a success. First, I'd like to thank our Toast Committee. We're grateful for your leadership and support. Thanks to our Toast Fundraising Committee co-chairs. We're especially grateful to our toasters, Dr. Rishma Kiwalramani, Dr. Betsy Nabel, Dr. Gary Nabel, Dr. Joan Reed, former Congressman Joe Kennedy, Dr. Sangeeta Bahitia, and Paul Burton. I would also like to recognize a special guest of ours, Ms. Elaine Julian. Please wave. Elaine is the former president, needs no introduction, but I'll tell you anyway. She's the former president and CEO of Boston Medical Health System, former Vertex Pharmaceuticals board member, and a dear friend and role model. She started on this path that opened the door for so many women in healthcare, and we're so grateful. We're thrilled to have you here with us, Elaine, and it's such a wonderful gift. Thank you for your support of Dr. Leiden and Whittier Street Health Center. Thanks to Brittany Johnson, who you just heard from, new to Boston, who's serving as our Toastmaster. Anima Collective, you'll hear wonderful music tonight. We're grateful to Raffinelli Events and the Hilton Boston Park Plaza Hotel. And I would also like to thank my amazing colleagues at Whittier for the skills and compassion they show every day on behalf of our patients. Now, I would like to acknowledge our generous sponsors. These organizations and individuals really came through, and I thank them on behalf of the people we serve. First, we have our title sponsor, Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Our presenting sponsors, Eversource Energy, Liberty Mutual Insurance, and Suffolk Construction. Our lead sponsors, Bank of America, Barbara and Amos Hofstetter, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Massachusetts, Empower, Granite Telecommunications, Kathy and Bob Mahoney, Mass Mutual, Mass General Brigham, Point 32 Health, Tom and Donna May. Thanks to our benefactors, David and Stephanie Long, Skating Up, Slate Miga and Flom, Ropes and Gray, White and Case LLP, Wilma Hill. Finally, we thank our generous patrons and contributors whose names are scrolling here and who you'll also find printed in our program booklet. Because of your investments in public health, we will expand our footprint and care for more people. We will forge new partnerships and launch even more programs to address health disparities and social inequities. We will promote healthy behaviors and reduce the burden of diseases in our neighborhoods. None of this happens without supporters like you. So once again, thank you for your care and generosity, and please give yourselves a round of applause. Now, it is my honor to introduce you to my longtime friend. I've been doing these works for 22 years. He's been at all 22 of them. Joe Nolan is the chairman, president, and CEO of Eversource Energy. Joe Nolan.
You know what I would say about Jeff Leiden here in Boston? The guy is wicked smart. So that's what we'd say about him. You know, he'd be the type of guy I'd probably sit behind there in college, and that's probably how I got through. Was guys generous like Jeff, and I want to thank you, Jeff, for that. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Toast Committee, welcome to the 2024 Whittier Street Toast to Jeff Leiden. I will tell you, with 6 presenters, you'll be lucky to get out for the lunar eclipse. I'll tell you that right now. But don't worry about it. The hotel has plenty of food. We should get you out just in time for the lunar eclipse. You know, it's great to see such a strong turnout to support Frederica, who has been a longtime friend and mentor of mine. This event is so important to Whittier Street, and if you haven't had a chance to go to Whittier Street and see all the great work that they're doing, I would encourage you to go over there. You might see somebody that will walk in with a toothache, or somebody that walks in with a young baby in need of something, but nobody gets turned away, or somebody that goes there in need of food, and they always will take care of them. You know, our support tonight helps this team provide these crucial services all year round. Whittier Street provides equitable access to high-quality, cost-effective health care for diverse populations they serve, some of Boston's most vulnerable residents, regardless of their background or their ability to pay. The Whittier team is a force for health equity and social justice, and they make the city we all love a better place to live. It's a cause that is close to my heart, and I am glad to see that it's close to yours as well. I bet that our distinguished guest, Dr. Leiden, breathed a sigh of relief when he found out that I would be making welcome remarks. It would not be one of his toasters. Those of you who have attended this event in the past know that I take my toasting responsibilities very, very seriously. To me, it's a contact sport. For instance, I spoke last year, the toast to honor David Long, my good friend, the former CEO of Liberty Mutual. Everyone who attended that toast will be pleased to know that David is recovering nicely. He only twitches a little bit when he hears the word Nolan. You know, I've been on the hot seat myself when I was a guest of honor a few years ago, and I brought my Eversource hard hat. People thought it was a prop. It was protection. Anyway, I'm sure we will all have a good time tonight. I want to thank Dr. Leiden and those of you who will be toasting him for their willingness to help step into the spotlight and help Whittier Street. I thank all of the wait staff tonight who always work hard to support this event. And this wonderful evening would not be possible without them. And as we say at my church, blessed are the brief, for they will inherit the land. And I thank Frederica and everyone on her team for everything they do for the people of Boston. They change lives for the better, one person at a time. And thank you, all of you, for coming out on this miserable night tonight. And if you could offer a special prayer that the power and the light stay on over the next few days, I would be eternally grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. All right, now this is an opportunity to hear from the Whittier staff and patients about the amazing work that is being done for underserved individuals. I hope you enjoy the video.
I grew up in Lowell, Massachusetts, with its tremendous ethnic and socioeconomic diversity. As the son of a nurse and a pharmacist in that community, my own personal experience and passions are deeply aligned with Whittier's mission. Liberty Mutual has been a longtime partner of Whittier Street Health Center, and it's my honor to help them champion access to social services and high-quality care for those most in need.
Here at Whittier Street, we really do try and be part of the community, the fabric of the community. A lot of our patients come from different backgrounds. You have Western medicine, and you have patients who come from different parts, Caribbean, from the continent of Africa, from a lot of places. And so it's definitely something that's very important because we have to be able to understand what their cultural framework is and work within that.
Whittier is very, very well designed, well placed to address all the needs of these immigrants. From addressing language barriers, there are people in this building who speak all sorts of languages, and once you enter Whittier, you feel like you are at home. There are no reservations.
The building has kind of gone from 3 different locations over the years. And there are patients who've been with us since the inception of the health center, and they remember coming here as a kid and all of that.
Whittier really believes in a patient-centered medical home where the patient is at the forefront of the care. We're making sure that we're providing high-quality care that is culturally sensitive, and then just making sure that we're making the parents feel comfortable, explaining things in a way that makes sense to them, making sure that all of their questions are answered.
The way Whittier is set up makes me the most impactful because everything is encompassed in this building. So I can help not only the child, the entire family, and I can also help the community at the same time. So when a kid comes here, I can get his eye care, his doctor care, everything all in once. And on top of all of the medical care and the mental health care, we do a lot of case management here.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I work in pediatrics, so I'm dealing with the children first and foremost. So really getting down on their level physically and emotionally, right? So making sure we're making good eye contact, making sure that I'm making them laugh, making sure that they're not scared.
It's an environment that's friendly, that's very welcoming, and we meet people where they are at whatever level that they are. It's a non-judgmental environment. People can come and go and just be part of the family here. Yeah, we're family here.
Rose, she has a very welcoming environment in her room. It's all green, and she's also very patient, and I can just tell her demeanor is very kind. We talk about a little bit of everything. Of course, some conversations are more serious than others, but she's a very kind soul, and developing that trust with a healthy environment and with an opening environment is, yeah.
Hello. Hi, good morning. I just want to see you.
Centering pregnancy was an initiative Whittier took because we have a lot of community who needs this service, and basically a minority. And then this is a program who is designed for assessment, support, and education. This is the 3 main goals for centering.
We see a lot of different, pregnant women on different backgrounds. And some of them, they are from here. Some of them, they come from another countries.
For me, this Whittier program is, oh my God, amazing for all the stuff that I'm learning. And the centering group here, we are like a family.
The satellite clinic is a primary care clinic. So the health issues that are, treated there ranges. They're mostly chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, mental health disorders. We provide same-day visits, and we also provide preventive care like immunizations.
I like working in this clinic because we have more connection with patients. We advise patients in every single way. We support them emotionally, psychologically, and also, giving the best advice.
I love Whittier Street Health. It's teaching me a lot about what I need to do to improve my health. So I love that part about it.
The staff there are good. So, you know, you get your appointment, you're there on time, you get seen on time.
Behavioral health is a big need. I carry primarily an adult caseload. So the majority of the clients that I serve have major diagnosis of major depressive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder.
I think it's really that Whittier is about more than just providing healthcare to our patients. The mission of the health center is to really tackle the social inequities in health.
A lot of our patients, they do have a lot of other social issues and mental health issues going on. And so if I'm trying to treat their blood pressure or their diabetes, I have to really think about, okay, are they living in a place where they have access to different things, proper food, can they afford it?
I like Dr. Johnson. She takes her time and she listens and she gives me great advice. That's why I like her. And even if I say something or I ask her a question, she'll answer it.
Good morning. Welcome to the food pantry.
It's a one-stop shop where if our patients are struggling with food insecurity, if they need help with housing resources, if they want to increase their wellness by seeing a nutritionist or going to a fitness center, we're able to provide those services for them all at once.
It's a heart-to-heart conversation with our patients, local patients, immigrant patients, all around. We care.
I've been in the medical field for a very long time, and I've never seen a place that does so much for their clients.
We have a school-based health center where we help provide some of those services. We have our mobile van that goes throughout the city providing services at community centers or in housing developments so that we can meet the patients where they're at.
I feel like everybody that works here at Whittier has a big heart and they're trying to give their all to make somebody else's life better, happier, healthier, in any field that they work in. There's so much passion here that everybody that I've met here does what they love.
I just love it here. I love helping people. It makes me feel like I have accomplished something in life, you know? I can go tomorrow and I know that I helped people and I had made people happy. It's just a great feeling.
I think at Whittier, we treat everyone with respect and dignity, and it's a family setting. Everyone that walks through the door is family to us. So I think that's what makes us a little bit different than other places.
Miss Miranda?
Whittier implements a whole bunch of services to close the gaps in children and adults. So for me, success looks like a happy, smiling kid telling me that they've accomplished something. So whether they got into that dream college that they wanted to get into, all of this with their excitement and their joy has made me excited.
I think we're a gem in the midst of this area. And I think that we're positioned to really do great things. For me, it's been a particular blessing, really, to be able to treat different members of a family. I think it speaks to their trust in us here.
At Liberty, our purpose is to help people embrace today and confidently pursue tomorrow. Whittier's mission directly aligns with our purpose, and I've had the opportunity to see firsthand what a difference they've made in the community. Unfortunately, access to care is not equal, especially for the underserved. Whittier helps ensure that every person they touch has access to the high-quality care and social services they need. This is vital. Whittier is a trusted resource in the community, providing innovative services and economic opportunity for thousands of patients so they can lead healthy lives. If I can make one ask, it would be that people spend any amount of time and resources they can supporting the causes that matter most to them. This alone would have such a profound impact, and Whittier is definitely one of those causes for Liberty Mutual.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you just watched in the video, Whittier Street Health Center breaks barriers to health through providing culturally competent care that ensures health and wellness holistically. Whittier Street Health Center gives hope to underserved communities, empowering them through equitable healthcare and social justice. Now, on your table, you'll find pledge cards, and we hope that you will all take a moment to consider making a contribution to aid Whittier's mission of achieving health equity and social justice. Thank you.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Of you. Come on, we're in a classy place. Can we keep the noise down here? I want to raise a toast to the great Dr. Leiden. I want to recognize all of his wonderful accomplishments. And I want to thank him for what he's done for everybody in the medical community. All of the jobs that he's created, all of the people that he's helped. We are so grateful to you for what you have done. So let's raise a toast to Dr. Jeff Leiden. Congratulations. Cheers.
Okay, now that we have done the toast, it's time to start toasting with our other presenters here. Please welcome tonight's first toaster, Dr. Reshma Kewal Ramani, President, yes, woo! I've been practicing, doctor. President and CEO of Vertex Pharmaceuticals.
Well, good evening, all, and thank you for being here to celebrate Jeff. And thank you to Frederica and the Whittier Street Health Center for 85 years of caring for patients. Tonight, it's my honor and privilege to help roast, I mean toast, I meant toast. I am told that this event was actually a roast. We have all been taught, maybe beaten into submission, and we have promised to not roast Jeff. So we are going to toast my friend, my colleague, my mentor, and former boss, Jeffrey Leiden. You've heard about the fact that Jeff is an entrepreneur, he's a scientist, he's a physician, and he's made enormous contributions to Massachusetts, to Boston, to science and medicine, and has touched the lives of countless of patients. He has also touched the lives of many of you in this room, including my own. And tonight, I want to reflect on a few more details and add to what Frederica has told you about Jeff, and tell you a little bit more about his illustrious life and career. The first and maybe the most important thing to know about Jeff is that his brilliance is clear in retrospect. His prescience is clear in hindsight. And I tell you this because when you consider his professional and personal decisions, at the time that he made them, there's no reason in the world to believe that they would ever work, and every reason in the world to believe that they wouldn't. You've heard about Jeff as the high school dropout. It's completely true. I've had to talk about Jeff in the past, and so I've looked for evidence that the man has graduated from elementary, middle, or high school. There is none. So the guy we're toasting here today did not go to high school, as in did not complete his secondary education. He took a job, one after the other, at failing companies. And this is the same man who says today that a number of years ago, he met a young physician from Amgen, and he knew the minute he met her that she was going to be the next CEO of Vertex when she had no interest in being the head of any company, and that person is me. This is not the action or the musings of a sane person when you look at his life prospectively, but it is the life of Jeff. And when you think about how did he come up with these things, why did he drop out of school, why does he think these things, Jeff points to his childhood. Of course, that is what anybody who's the son of a psychologist and a school teacher would say, right? Jeff's parents had an interesting approach, and they never said no to Jeff. It explains a lot. You heard about the fact that Jeff disassembled his radio at his house. He would take the light bulbs out of lamps, and he often couldn't put it back together. And when he was 9 or 10, Jeff and his best friend took the train from Glencoe to Chicago. And I'll tell you, I once went to Chicago as a high school senior to look at the University of Chicago where he went to school. I was robbed, straight out robbed. And here's a 9-year-old wandering around town. When he turned 11 or 12, Jeff announced that he and his friend would go to Europe alone, and off they went. A few years later, Jeff snuck in to take the SATs. I know he sounds like a fun guy, but that's what the guy did. He snuck in and took the SATs. He did well enough. He got into the University of Chicago at the age of 15. By the age of 18, he had graduated. By the age of 21, he had his Ph.D. And as Frederica told you, by the age of 24 or so, he had his M.D., his Ph.D., and he was well on his way to an illustrious career. Fast forward a few more years. Fast forward a few more years, and Jeff was a full professor at Harvard Medical School. He joined the board of Abbott as their resident physician scientist, and at that time, he was now about 45 years old or so. Through a series of interesting conversations, including the fact that Jeff thought he could turn around, at that point, a failing Abbott. And so when he said those words, because he's not afraid to express his opinion, a board member flew down and told Jeff that he should take the job at Abbott, become COO, become the chief scientific officer, and if he thought he could turn it around, well, why doesn't he prove it? The future at that time of Abbott was bleak, but Jeff is no quitter, and he is always up to a challenge, and he always thinks he can fix things. Now, the sad part about it is it's unfortunately almost always true. It's annoying nonetheless. He decided to take the job. He pushed forward with a new strategy. He pushed forward with a strategy that involved innovation, pushing to the scientific frontiers, and he presented it to the colleagues on the board. Fast forward a little bit more, they were impressed, and he soon was offered, and he took the job at Abbott as COO and Chief Scientific Officer. Interestingly enough, I was in a car with Jeff many, many years later, and I asked him how it happened, because I was wondering, how did this guy, who was like 45 years old, and in normal terms, that's like a 25-year-old, given how long we medical types spend in college. It would be like saying a 25-year-old became the CEO of Morgan Stanley. That's how young he was at the time. So I asked him, how did it happen? He said, well, look, Abbott was in rough shape. No one else was going to take the job anyway, so they offered it to me, and I said yes. Moving on from there, Jeff did extremely well, the company did extremely well, and Jeff was now in private equity. He was doing venture capital, and a few members on the board of Vertex and Jeff had a conversation about how Vertex was doing. Vertex, back then, 2011 or so, was not the Vertex you see today. The company had launched a medicine, a very, very important medicine called Incevic. And at that time, it was the best medicine for a disease called hepatitis C. It was such a good medicine that it went from 0 to $1 billion, which in the pharmaceutical industry is called a blockbuster, which is few. They're few and far between. The fastest of any medicine of its time. And it went from $1 billion to 0, the fastest of any medicine of its time. Here was a company in trouble, and as usual, Jeff thought he could fix it. So he talked to the board, and he talked to them about his ideas. By this time, Jeff was in his 50s. He was enjoying a very successful career in venture capital, and when he talked to his wife, Lisa, behind every good man is an even better woman. Lisa told him his child prodigy days were over, and he wasn't getting any younger, and if he wanted to fix one more thing, this was his chance. And so Jeff did what he loved best, fix broken things. And he took the job at Vertex. And I think what all of these stories about Jeff tell you is that he has the ability to see into the future. But his gift goes beyond seeing into the future. He literally makes the future happen. He wills it into existence. He simply loves fixing broken things because he believes they're ripest for transformation. And that, my friends, is how Jeff transformed Vertex and made it into the company it is today. Jeff can see beyond broken things. He also saw a company full of talent. He saw science. He saw a company that was big enough that he could make a big difference in the world, but small enough that he could change it. All of this led to Jeff creating a strategy and defying decades of absolutely accepted wisdom of how a biopharmaceutical company should be run. He built continuous innovation into our processes. He decided that the way we were going to go forward is make transformative, if not curative, drugs. As physicians, we're afraid of the C word. He put it right into the strategy. Vertex's medicines, Trikafta, the recently approved CRISPR-based medicine called Casgevy, that was made in partnership with our colleagues at CRISPR Therapeutics, who are also here today, and the programs in type 1 diabetes, which hold the potential, get this, to cure type 1 diabetes. All of these were done. All of these were done under Jeff's leadership. The thing about Jeff is he is just plain prescient. His outlook radiates scientific optimism. And he has lived through, frankly, created so many transformations that he just believes it will happen and that it would happen at Vertex. Jeff says, if you want to be the future, you have to get there early. I couldn't put it better myself. And so on a final note, I want to thank Jeff for seeing the future, including my own future, when I didn't see it myself. I consider Jeff the founding CEO of modern-day Vertex. And because of you, I'm here today. Jeff, thank you for everything that you've done for the community, for Vertex, and for me personally. With that, I will turn it over to our toast mistress.
Thank you, Dr. Reshma Kewal-Vermani.
You got it right.
Thank
you.
you.
Got it exactly right.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for that. Next up, we have a virtual toast from two of Dr. Leiden's close friends. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gary Nabel and Dr. Betsy Nabel of ModeX Therapeutics and OPCO Health.
Jeff, it's a real honor and pleasure to celebrate you tonight. Congratulations on receiving the special recognition from the Whittier Street Health Center. You are an exceptional leader, physician, scientist, and friend who has given so much to all who surround you, especially the Boston community. Gary and I have had the good fortune of knowing you and Lisa since our internship and residency days at the Brigham 40 years ago. Since then, our professional and personal lives have been interwoven. We have watched the arc of your career from academic medicine at the universities of Michigan and Chicago, to pharma at Abbott, to venture capital, and to Vertex. There are very few, if any, of our generation who have the intellect, emotional intelligence, and leadership to move so seamlessly with such success between these diverse sectors of biomedical research. Why and how have you done this? As you understand so well, it's all about your values, the relationships you've developed, and the respect that you have shown others. Going back to your intern days, there is nothing you wouldn't do to save a patient's life. And this passion, drive, and motivation continue today. It's all about improving patients' lives.
Jeff, we're honored to join you for this event today. While the Boston community is recognizing your many talents and contributions to medicine and the city, we've been privileged to watch your growth over the decades and witness how your work has unfolded to make the world a better place. You have a rare combination of talents, the ability to think big while also thinking small. That is, being able to focus on details critical to breakthrough discoveries. Few people have the skills to navigate medicine, scientific research, and the business world. You've now done it consistently over the years and have always been at the cutting edge of the latest technologies. In the early days, genetic models of human disease in animals, in monoclonal antibody therapy, in immunology, and in rare disease. Your efforts have led to major advances that have led the way not only for new drugs, but for entirely new platforms that apply to multiple diseases.
Any one of these would be a lifetime career accomplishment, but you haven't stopped there. You've engaged with our local community in Boston to support education, economic development, and social responsibility in the community. You've redefined the meaning of success, more than a triple threat, arguably the GOAT of the biotechnology and business community. Finally, on a personal level, you've always been a pillar for family and friends. Lisa, our good friend and your remarkable life partner, has shared this journey with you. And though it doesn't seem possible, you did indeed marry up. Not to mention your growing family, including the kids and grandkids. We feel so blessed to count you as a friend and watch your tireless progress over the decades. We look forward to even more in the years to come and are delighted to celebrate your accomplishments with the Whittier Street Health Center today. Congrats, Jeff.
Our next toaster is Dean for Diversity and Community Partnership, Professor of Medicine, Harvard Medical School, Professor of Society, Human Development and Health at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Please welcome Dr. Joan Reed.
I'm going to mark this. I've never had music as I came to the stage. I am so excited and honored to have been asked to offer a toast to Jeff Leiden, and to do so at this wonderful event supporting Whittier Street Health Center. Not only is Whittier Street the community health center serving my very own neighborhood, it's a center that cares so wonderfully for so many of my family members. My grandchildren actually go there for their dental care. Whittier has a vital mission that I hold dear. After finishing my residency at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, I came back to Boston and went to work at the Mattapan Community Health Center. So I know firsthand the critical role Whittier Street plays in its community, and I share its commitment to its core, to health equity. And it is that commitment to health equity that makes their decision to honor Jeff Leiden so appropriate. I heard about Jeff long before I met him. When talking with those in biotech about the work that we do at BSCP, the Biomedical Science Careers Program, I heard again and again that the then CEO of Vertex would want to know about what we were doing. We at BSCP have a commitment to diversity, social justice, and inclusion for all people. And it fuels our mission to close the equity gap for talented, bright, young students who would like to pursue a career in science, technology, public health, and medicine. So in 2018, we invited Jeff to attend our annual event for over 1,000 students, fellows, early career professionals from across the country. Now, I don't think Jeff knew what to expect when he walked into that space at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And to be honest, we didn't know what to expect from Jeff, whether he would get it. And by it, I mean the true kind of support our young people need. Not just financial support, and financial support is critical, but encouragement and guidance, mentorship, and opportunities from people who've walked the path that these students will have to walk. What Jeff found that morning when he walked into that space and looked into the eyes of these very young people who have historically and systematically been denied opportunity was a hunger. A hunger to make a difference, a hunger for a career and future of their dreams, dreams that are big, but also dreams that seemed almost impossible to achieve. And what we saw was that Jeff got it. He sat down and spoke to students about his career and his work at Vertex. And he did so with a sense of awe and excitement and wonder at what science could do and accomplish to help people. His passion for the miracle of science was infectious, and he put this room full of bright and talented young people at ease. And they responded by peppering him with deep and sophisticated questions about his work and their futures. Jeff got the amazing potential that each of these young people possessed. And he said right then and there that he had our back and we had his support. And while that led to 6 years of generous financial support of BSCP's mission, more importantly, it led to 6 years of close collaboration and partnership with the people of Vertex. Jeff immediately recommended that Reshma, then Vertex's CMO, join our board. And since that day in 2018, Jeff, Reshma, and countless Vertex executives and employees have brought the Vertex spirit of discovery and possibility to thousands of young people by offering mentoring, encouragement, guidance, and career opportunities. But this collaboration is not the only way Jeff has made equity a guiding principle of his and the work of Vertex. He recruited Reshma to be Chief Medical Officer, mentored her, and subsequently chose her to be his successor as CEO, the only woman of color to lead a large biopharma company. And during that very discussion at BSCP in 2018, Jeff spoke with passion of how equity was a center of Vertex's partnership with CRISPR and their groundbreaking joint effort to use gene editing to find a treatment for sickle cell disease, a disease that impacts so many African Americans and communities of color, not only in the United States. I know that that struck a personal chord with so many of the people of color in that room whose families have been impacted by sickle cell disease and who witnessed the decades-long harsh disparity in research funding and focus on this terrible disease. This also included me, having lost my sister-in-law who passed away with sickle cell. Since that day in 2018, I've witnessed Jeff inspire so many young people to believe in their dreams, to believe that they can go anywhere and do anything, whether it be as a CEO leading a brilliant and committed team, or as a researcher making life-saving discoveries, or as a doctor treating patients with new curative therapies that will transform lives. I'm so very, very honored to offer toast to Dr. Jeffrey Leiden.
The fourth toaster of the night is former Congressman Joe Kennedy III. Joe is currently president of Citizens Energy and also serves in the Biden administration as special envoy to Northern Ireland for economic affairs. He is also the founder of Groundwork Project. Everyone, please welcome Joe Kennedy III.
What's going on, everybody? This is the time of the night where you are anxiously wondering what the fourth speaker is going to say that is different from the other three and how you're going to set up number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. A couple things just as I get started here first. First off, to Whittier Street Community Health Center, thank you for what you do. What an extraordinary organization that sets the bar for what healthcare delivery is supposed to be and for what healthcare is supposed to be, right? Guaranteeing a human right for all of us. And so, Jeff, I can't think of a better organization to recognize you and your life's work and your commitment to what healthcare can be, taking on some of these biggest challenges for populations that haven't had answers to their prayers. And as Dr. Kawalrani so eloquently said, that you dedicated your extraordinary talent to easing those burdens is an extraordinary tribute to you. Doctor, I was told it was a roast, so that was the nice things that I did. The rest of this is not so nice, so now I have to Dr. Reed just gave this extraordinary outpouring and emotional speech and toast to you, Jeff, and I have to redo this on the fly because it's not nearly as kind as she was. So I'll do my best here, but I will tell you that I've had to give my fair share of speeches before, and this isn't the first time that Jeff has actually put me in this position. We'll get into that in a second. But being fourth in line here is never a fun place, right? Whether it's a roast, a toast, or anything else, because most of the good jokes have been taken. You all are still too sober to laugh at it, basically anything better. And timing is, of course, everything. Which brings me to what it's like to share a stage with Jeff Leiden. The last time, I've got some Irish heritage, as you might know, we hold a grudge. So Jeff, here goes, right? Some of you know that Jeff and I both served as co-chairs of years ago as the Massachusetts STEM Advisory Council. Some of you will recall this organization, but the STEM Council was a public-private entity that brought folks together, public sector, private sector, to support STEM education in our schools, to ensure that we were trying to meet the needs of the next generation workforce, to make sure that the talent that we all know exists uniformly across Massachusetts provides access and resources to all of those folks into extraordinary organizations like Vertex. So a few years ago, Vertex was announcing $500 million of corporate giving to help support these extraordinary students and a partnership with Boston Public Schools. A large chunk of it was going straight into a STEAM education program, and another large portion was going to help a cystic fibrosis community. So we have this event. It's Mayor Marty Walsh, myself, this young woman named Lauren Weeks, some of you might know, a cystic fibrosis patient. We're all invited to go speak at Vertex's gleaming building at this press conference. And we're representing, each of us, a portion of the funding that's going to come forward. Mayor Walsh gets up, or Jeff opens up the press conference, as we would expect, greets everybody, lays the foundation, passes it over to Mayor Whittier Walsh, who gives remarks. All great, going as one might expect. Then it's Lauren Weeks' turn. And Lauren is nothing short of jaw-dropping. She was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when she was little. She started taking Orkambi, the oral medication developed by Vertex, and her lung function dramatically increased. She got so much better, thanks to the amazing work of Jeff and the Vertex team. She gives this incredible speech, and she tells her story about having this opportunity to live a life that she otherwise would never have had. Such a powerful addition to that press conference. She concludes her remarks, and I'm up next, and Jeff gets back to the podium to introduce me, and there's not a dry eye in the entire place. Jeff is wiping away tears. And caught in the emotion of the moment, which apparently makes him brutally honest, he motions to me and says something in the microphone to the effect of, "Wow, hard to introduce another speaker after that, but I guess here's Joe." There's some laughs. There's I'm sitting there going good Lord, how to... And he says, as he's walking off, "Timing is everything, Congressman." Thanks. Not the last time I heard that. Toasts, roasts, campaigns for Senate, all sorts of other things, right? But Jeff, we are here tonight because of your sense of timing, because of your ability to see where others view challenges, you see opportunities. Where others see obstacles, you see puzzles. And there are so many millions of patients around this world that are better for your tirelessness, your tenaciousness, your optimism, your dedication, and your success. Here's to you, my friend. Congratulations.
Now, Dr. Leiden, everybody keeps talking about how great you are. I'm great at what I do too. I'm an investigative reporter. And you know what that means? I've uncovered that you have paid everybody to say all of these great things. Just kidding, just kidding. All right, our next toaster will be coming to us virtually, and she is a John J. and Dorothy Wilson Professor of Engineering, the director of the Marble Center for Cancer Nanomedicine at the Koch Institute for Integrative Cancer Research at MIT. Please welcome Dr. Sangeeta Bhatia.
I'm so honored today to join in the chorus of voices to honor both Jeff Leiden and the Whittier Street Health Center. As an educator, as a physician scientist, and as a product of the public schools, the mission in the room that you're sitting in is very close to my heart. When I think about Jeff Leiden, I think about what an inclusive leader he is. When I first met him in 2015 and I joined the board, I was an academic scientist, never been in a public boardroom. Jeff was the CEO, and he would look to me, he would call me out, he would say, Sangeeta, what do you think? And, he helped me grow, and I think that's what great leaders do, is they bring out the best in the people around him. He does that for everybody he touches, and he does it in small ways, but he also does it in big ways. He says, let's take on something huge. Let's take on using CRISPR for the first time for a disease like sickle cell. When I joined the Vertex board in 2015, he was fighting to establish a collaboration between Vertex and CRISPR Therapeutics. There were many doubters, both on Wall Street and even in the boardroom, but Jeff wasn't deterred. And that collaboration has today resulted in the discovery and development of the first CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing therapy for sickle cell in the world. I always describe working with Jeff a little bit like working with an elite athlete. Like, he's so good. He's so talented in so many dimensions. And you're sort of like sitting there having this conversation with him, but also thinking like, what are all the ways that I can learn from this person? MD, Ph.D., Howard Hughes medical investigator, did all the academic things, and then went into industry, and he's worked across all modalities. He is voraciously curious and brilliant, and he can integrate all of those perspectives, a scientist, a medical doctor, and a businessman, and bring them to bear on the business of Vertex and making new medicines for people with serious diseases. And that kind of triple threat, that is so rare to find. But there's more. And, Jeff realizes that part of our system doing the best science is going to be bringing all the ideas and talents into the system. And that starts young. It starts in our communities. It starts with the commitment to the Learning Lab to bring public school kids into Vertex. It starts with programs that he's put into the public schools, the digital health initiative that he's recently been a part of in the state of Massachusetts to think about how we can use artificial intelligence in medicine. It's all the ways that we can make medicines better. And so it's not just that he's a scientist and a physician and a businessman, but he's also a community leader. He touches all of our institutions of higher learning. He's touched the hospitals. He's touched the policy level. He's touched the schools. He's touched industry. He's touched venture. There's not a piece of Boston. He's touched the arts. There's really not a piece of Boston that Jeff hasn't influenced and shaped and inspired. Here on my desk, I have this little sign. What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? And I can just imagine that taking a brand new modality like CRISPR and pointing it at sickle cell disease is just something that bold. He's just an incredible leader. And he's bold and incisive and at the same time compassionate and can bring people along, for really long, scary, risky journeys, which is exactly what this business of making medicines is about. Jeff, it's such an honor to be able to call you my friend. From the bottom of my heart, congratulations.
Hey, our final toaster for the night is Paul Burton, journalist for WBZ-TV CBS News and Executive Vice President of the Ron Burton Training Village.
Thank you, everyone. They say that life is a gift, and what we do with that gift, the choices that we make with our lives, can be used to enhance the lives of others around us. One of the greatest things in this gift we call life is the gift of time. The gift of time. And you, Dr. Jeff Leiden, are a gift like no other, and a gift of time well spent, globally, locally, and personally. First, globally, you have taken the time to challenge what is possible. Your investment in time and research to tackle diseases that others thought, well, may be impossible, like CF and sickle cell. And you have left an indelible global footprint for others not just to follow, but to take up the baton and enhance it forward. Locally, you have taken the time to introduce children to the gift of science, so they too can explore what is possible. And only God knows how many young children you have inspired to become scientists, because you yourself have taken the time to invest in them. And finally, personally, my father, the late Ron Burton, had a saying. He said, the greatest thing in life a person can do is to serve, and expect nothing back in return. Well, Jeff, since I've known you, you have served in such a powerful way. You yourself have impacted me personally in the organization that we run called Ron Burton Training Village, impacting the lives of children in such a mighty way. You have taken the time to sit down with them and pour into them your wisdom, your guidance, your excellence, your experiences. To the kids of RBTV. And you took the time to listen to all of their questions. And if you remember that night, they bombarded you with a myriad of questions. But anyone here knows that Jeff can pretty much talk circles around anyone else here in this room. Well, except for maybe you, Dr. Kilo Romani. But that night, when we were all gathered at Vertex, Jeff, in his brilliance and his wisdom, came down to our level with kindness and with humility, and spent the time investing in the lives of our kids. And we look forward to next month gathering again with you, Dr. Leiden, and Dr. Kilo Romani and Devin McCourty for round 2 of RBTV and Vertex. They're looking forward to that event next month. And I just have to say, Jeff, I've witnessed firsthand with my very own eyes how you have embraced countless nonprofits throughout this Commonwealth, including here at Whittier Street. So impressive what they do. And I've seen you firsthand how you have taken the time to put your arm around a young person and let them see, know, and believe what is possible because you have taken the time to do so. You have served and continue to serve, and you have given your life as a gift, as time well served. You know, there's a saying, a very old biblical saying, and Joe Nolan, you'll appreciate this from a biblical perspective, that this gift of time that we have one day comes to an end. Now, context. Dr. Leiden, I pray you live for another 50 more years and continue to pour into us. But there's a saying, a very old biblical saying that says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, globally, locally, and personally. I will make you master over many things." To you and your beautiful bride, Lisa, thank you for your service, for your tenacity, for your gift of time that is so precious to all of us here in this room, and your impact will go on for decades to come. Congratulations on a job well done. I love you, my brother. God bless you.
Okay, good evening again. Thanks to all of you. I'm thrilled to announce that tonight we have raised more than $1 million to support Whittier Street Health Center's programs and services. This fund will have an extraordinary impact on the more than 30,000 individuals we serve. We're deeply, deeply grateful for this investment in the lives of underserved individuals and families. Thank you, Dr. Leiden and Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Thank you to the Toast Committee. Thank you to Toasters. Inspirational. It was wonderful to hear so many wonderful tributes. Thank you, Brittany. You did a wonderful job. No investigation. You did a wonderful job. And our greatest appreciation for our donors. Thank you. Dr. Leiden, you can join me at the podium. After hearing your friends speak tonight, one message is clear. In every endeavor, your innovative leadership, compassion, and integrity has shone through, earning you the admiration and respect of all who had the privilege of crossing your path. In recognition of your groundbreaking contributions within the field of medicine, which has expanded access to treatment and quality care for underserved individuals, we honor you with this Inner Hands Award. This award communicates your powerful impact of peace, responsibility, and stewardship for our earth and everything living in it. We're thankful for your work as a physician, scientist, innovator, and exemplary leader. Thank you.
Wow. I'm not sure exactly what to say. I'm usually not speechless, as you know, Reshma, but that rendered me speechless. I'm not sure exactly how I would describe this event. It sort of feels like a mix between the most wonderful birthday party, where all your best friends are there, and my own eulogy. It's a fairly unique experience. I'll say I certainly am glad that we decided to go with more of the toast than the roast, Joe. But seriously, there are so many folks that I want to thank for their support, for their hard work, for their beautiful comments during tonight's event. And let me start with my friend and right-hand woman, Stacia McNaught, who's sitting down here. So Stacia and I have had the wonderful privilege and honor of working closely together on government affairs and civic policy for more than a decade now, Stacia. That seems pretty amazing. And anyone who knows Stacia will understand when I say that she is clearly my better half in these endeavors. Stacia, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting this event together tonight. I also want to thank my amazing and wonderful assistant, Elisa Henderson. It's over here. Elisa has run my entire life for the last 12 years, and I can tell you that's not always fun, right, Elisa? Or certainly not easy. But she was also instrumental in putting together tonight's event, so thank you, Elisa. And of course, thanks to Boston Park Plaza and the Raffinelli Events Group for putting on a terrific party, as always. Now, to all of the toasters and my many friends who are here tonight, thank you for being mostly kind and for clearly exaggerating my accomplishments and definitely minimizing my failures. You know, as I've gotten older, I've come to fully appreciate the fact that life is really about forming special relationships and enduring friendships, much more so than achieving personal goals. And I've been blessed to make so many special friends during the last 50 years. You heard from some of them tonight. And my life has been enriched tremendously by each of them. So tonight you also heard about some of my crazy decisions and lucky outcomes. But none of those would have been possible without the tremendous support of my family, starting with my parents who let me take apart all those appliances in our house and not put them together, and ending with my beautiful wife, Lisa, and my two wonderful sons, Ben and Alex, who always supported my somewhat insane career decisions and, more importantly, encouraged me during all my times of failure and doubt. Thank you, and thank you, Lee. Now, the purpose of tonight's dinner is actually to raise money to support the Whittier Street Health Center, and I frankly cannot imagine a better cause and mission, as you've already heard tonight. Whittier Street was founded in 1933 with a focus on women's health, and since then it's expanded dramatically to have more than 40 programs ranging from behavioral health to childhood obesity. The center played an absolutely critical frontline role during the COVID pandemic. And in 2023, last year, they provided healthcare services to more than 30,000 people and more than 20,000 community education and outreach visits, which is just incredible. I particularly want to recognize Frederica Williams, who's been the president and CEO of Whittier Street since 2002. Now, as you heard tonight, we have a very ambitious goal to raise more than $1 million to support the continued activities of the health center. And thanks to our fantastic co-chairs, Reshma, my friend, colleague, and terrific successor at Vertex, David Long, Joe Nolan, and John Fish, I'm confident that we will hit or exceed that goal. In fact, I'm confident we already have. And of course, that's thanks to all of you as well. I especially want to acknowledge my friend and colleague, John Fish, who has personally moved heaven and earth to make the fundraising effort this year so successful. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us tonight because he came down with the flu, but his efforts during the last 3 or 4 months have been truly remarkable, so thank you, John. So to all of you, thanks again for joining us tonight. Thanks for your kind comments, your support, and most importantly, for your generous support of the Whittier Street Health Center. I hope you've enjoyed the evening. I certainly have. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Thank you to all of you who helped and participated in making this event and this evening so special. Dr. Leiden, thank you again for everything that you do for our community here. We hope that you all enjoyed this evening's event and that you now have a better idea of the great programs and care that Whittier provides to its patients. Thank you all for coming, and we appreciate your support. Good night, everyone, and we hope to see you all again next year. Thank you.